Today, we are going to discuss day one of the Mid-Atlantic CrossFit Challenge, also known as the MAC, where we are here in a hotel room, sitting on a hotel seat
on Kyle
and
Hebdo's bed.
What kind of hotel is this?
Hilton.
What did you say? Oh, love it. It's a Hilton.
I love it. Yeah. And we have world-class lighting that you can see there.
It looks like some rock musicians went on a bender in our room right now.
So day one.
Day one. First workout.
Ballerina.
She won it with the
Ballerina
very
won it.
conservative numbers.
She is so strong and was so conservative. I don't know. How many more pounds do you think she had on that?
I mean,
10 to
I
15?
think at least 10 or 15.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice is all our girls made all of their lifts, right?
They did,
and
yeah.
I feel like that wasn't the case with not just our males, but with a lot of males. I feel like there were a lot of misses on some lifts number 2 and some lift like in their third complex.
I think that's been consistent the last few weeks, and I don't know if it's just the weight and the amount of rest time between is really hard for them to recover from. But someone else brought up a point of some guys, I think, were starting to try to cycle it faster.
Yeah.
And that worked for some of them and did not work for others, just with like re-gripping the barbell versus women, like even Cal and Jordan had the ability to almost stop at their hip for a second.
Yeah. And then kind of like go into a deadlift on the way down.
I think it's more reasonable for women to do that because the bar is whippier. And so there's a little more give when you pause at the hang like that versus the guys, the bar does not whip in the same way. And when you watch them stop with 315, it's like, boom, it jolts their entire body. So I think that is like a different strategy and play on it. I also saw a lot of guys today too getting no repped on touch and going the cleans really fast.
Yeah.
They would come out of the front rack and go right into it, and they were getting no rep for that.
Yeah. And the weights here were a lot less than Syndicate. What the text that you got, I think 215 was 4th at Syndicate or would have been 4th here, and it was 12th at Syndicate.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
on
is
the ladies' side, yeah. And then the winning 335 was the winning score here. 345 was winning at Syndicate.
Yeah.
And
women last week 245.
245.
Yeah.
So
other females, Jordan hit all her lifts. What'd she end at? 200.
200. Yeah.
It's a solid lift.
she was so scrappy on her complex. I was loving it. That's a long ass complex, and watching her fight through every single attempt was awesome.
Super patient. I think her second attempt, like the bar came out of her hand weird, and she didn't panic or anything. She just re-gripped it. But yeah, I mean, I think that went as well as it could have gone for her. She didn't hit that weight in practice, but that was the goal.
Nice. Danielle.
Yeah.
What'd she have?
Danielle.
205?
I forget.
15?
205 or 210.
I think 205 or 210.
The limitation, that girl can power clean a house.
Yeah,
the squat. Yeah, the two
her
squats.
cleans looked really
it's the
strong.
front squats for her, and I think
She hit 210.
210, yeah. I think she had a really good plan, and I think going 3 for 3 in a complex like that means that you did, coordinate.
Yeah,
correctly.
you pick the right weights for you.
Yeah, we saw a lot of. I think last weekend we didn't see any men hit their third attempt.
Really?
Yeah, or
Something
in the
like
final
that.
heat.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is there a strategy to maybe kind of sandbagging the middle one?
Maybe. Yeah, like taking
that's
almost
10
like
minutes of rest.
Yeah.
10 minutes of rest if you don't sell your soul on the second attempt.
That's true. So
That's
you
a
do
risk,
like kind of an aggressive opener, and then. But what would you do? Just not take the lift?
You could just see what everyone's at. Especially if you're at the end of the line, you could see where everyone's at.
But would you just not take an attempt?
I don't know, deadlift it?
Yeah, just miss the clean.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if people would take that
Yeah.
risk. Yeah, I wouldn't coach that, I don't think.
You wouldn't.
Don't listen to that week
I'm not
before
saying
people.
to do that. I'm just curious, because just watching, when you see how, like on the men's side, the success on the third attempt is not very high.
Yeah.
Relative
I
to the
think
women.
the most successful ones, it would be a 5-pound jump.
Yeah. I think people forget that too. And this isn't like a video on we're trying to tell all the semis that are or elite athletes that are listening to this. What I'm saying is when you do a complex that has 6 reps in it, a 5-pound jump is a lot.
Yeah.
Versus a 5-pound jump on just a 1 rep max lift.
Like a clean and jerk.
Yeah. So when you see people doing 10, 15-pound jumps, it's so much more work you're doing.
Yeah. Males?
Jake went 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Jake went 3 for 3.
Yeah, he hit his plan and then just adjusted his third attempt down. So he hit 295, 305, 310, which was a PR from training in the complex, which I feel like is good for him.
I think it was good. I think it was a good call too,
Yeah.
just based on how the squat looked. Like his cleans looked really strong, and then the last 2 squats started to get pretty grindy, and then his jerk is just like so strong.
Yeah.
He said it felt wobbly and unstable, and I was like,
But it looked so clean.
fast.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, that was impressive. That was good for Jake.
Yeah, Noah did not have a good morning. He had hit 320 in training, so his goal was 305, go up to 320 and hit it, have a second attempt at hitting it. Since he's already hit it, he felt confident he would hit that and then try for 330, and then he missed the jerk. I mean, he flew like power cleans look fast, squats look fast, and his jerk just looked wobbly, and he said it was a little off, and he just didn't have the juice, which left him in a hole for the weekend, but I think we could still climb out of it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that, but he had a good response tonight. So
Needleman.
Needleman.
Lee.
Yeah, Mike hit 2 out of 3, and things pretty much went to plan, except on the 3rd clean of his last attempt, he had a left quad injury months back that was bugging him for a while, and we weren't squatting and doing stuff, and it
flared up a little bit.
Yeah, flared up. So I don't know if it impacted his jerk, but he missed his 3rd attempt, but still finished with an okay number. But more so, the concern was like, would he be able to continue on with the weekend?
Yeah,
which he did. But
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. You spoiled it. And then Lee hit 285, 300, and then missed the jerk at 310, right?
Yeah, man, it was close.
Yeah, he was moving it
was
pretty
a hell
well.
of a fight. But that was pretty good for him. I think his goal was to go for it on that last one and hit that number, and it was really close.
Any other observations outside of at Tanner and
The jerk for a lot of these
Tanner
guys,
had
man.
missed the jerk on attempt 2 and attempt 3. Frank hit a pretty big number.
Frank looks strong. He's so like impressive with his strength, with his size.
Yeah.
Like strength to weight ratio.
It's interesting how many different people have different strategies with this complex. Some people power clean everything.
Yeah.
Some people are like full squat clean. He really gets under the bar fast.
You were asking me if I would power some of it, and I think I would
310.
Yeah, I would just pull the bar where as high as I could pull it without having to really drive my legs into the floor to catch it high. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like just receiving with where the bar is at, and if that means the first one's a power and the second one is just it's easier to kind of pull and drop under, I think that's a good strategy for a lot of guys because it saves the legs.
Yeah, saves the hips, I feel like, too, like, for the jerk.
Yeah, if you're a strong squatter, if you're not a strong squatter, then like someone like Danielle, just like it was so easy to power and it looked really strong.
yeah, I think Jake squat cleaned everything.
Yeah, he did.
And I think that was also another, I think he made a good decision lowering that last bar just because at that point in time, you've done it 3 times.
Yeah, it's a nasty complex, man. Like there's so much risk in that, and it's super taxing, and doing 3 attempts of it is exhausting, which I think kind of plays a factor in how these guys felt in the next workout too.
Yeah.
I remember being here last week and watching the elites do the complex and talking to them after the Metcon they did later, and they were like, I was zapped. Like my nervous system was so smoked, especially if you like really sold your soul in that 3rd attempt and then you miss it and you're like, crushed. I made 5 of the 6 lifts and then you missed that 6th one. It's crushing.
No.
We didn't
much?
talk about teams.
Snatch ladder. Yeah. Danielle and her team, I'm going to butcher the name, Shoe Fly Squadron. Storm Squadron, right? I think.
Yeah, so yeah, they crushed it. They had a really impressive total.
Very strong start.
Do either of you have the meat sweats?
No,
I feel like I have barbecue sweats.
We had to cut the air conditioning. It's getting warm in here.
I feel ribs coming out of my face.
Yeah, just say barbecue.
That AC unit is so loud.
It is really loud.
All right, second workout.
In the briefing, because of the whole shitstorm with the GHD position last week, they brought that up, and athletes were very rattled and thrown off by that. So I think that might have caused several athletes to be more conservative by nature, thinking like, oh, this new standard might blow me up. I don't know what it's going to do. So there's definitely that element to it. But
you guys were going to start with the girls, but just because you said that, both Noah and Jake kind of use a GHD strategy with their hips on top of the pad, and then maybe as they bend their knees, they pull their hips almost to the inside of the pad or close. Yeah. And we extended their setting back one, and both of them said that it substantially changed it, put like all the stress on their abs, which then made the handstand walk just more challenging.
Yeah.
Which I guess it was just uproar from last week. Somebody put up a post about.
Yeah. There was a
whole controversy about
it. Yeah.
Anyways. So they changed that standard.
Yep.
That happened just in the briefing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This
They
morning.
basically, and it was kind of unclear. It was like they was like, well, where do the hips have to be? And they said, well, if you cut the pad in half, you have to be sitting behind the pad that's cut off, and your butt has to be like hanging off of it. And it's like, well, does that mean when you're at the top touching the pad, or when you're at the bottom? So
the whole time.
Anyway, it's just so hard to enforce a standard that's difficult to make clear. You know.
What if you got a big rump?
Yeah, that's true.
There's
if you got
definitely
a big
that. I mean,
donk, it's definitely harder.
Yeah, and just touch the pad, touch the ground.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Anyways.
One thing I do like, I feel like the workout did give athletes the ability to express their capacity in handstand walking, which is something I feel like we haven't really seen.
Yeah.
But I mean, whether or not like it over biased it, I'm not really sure. I mean, I feel like Noah came out really hot on that workout and did well, but ended up
He took third.
losing in just I think handstand walk speed basically.
Yeah.
And having to break the sections.
Yeah, he did it in training as 30 feet down, kick down, 30 feet back. Like, I think that was how it was written. And I think because he did it and had success in training that way, he kicked down. But he also said that his core was just ruined from having to do GHD sit-ups that way. And then Saxon Panchik went 90 feet unbroken to finish, and Dallin Pepper did 60 and 30. Saxon had a little bit of a lead, but Noah had got off with Dallin in that last set, and Dallin just made up the time by going 60 unbroken.
Yeah. Noah's opening GHD was the fastest, and his overhead squat speed was nuts.
Yeah.
Super
And
impressed by
maybe
that.
it was a little too hot. I'm not entirely sure. He said he was okay and that it was just the GHDs, but he definitely looked a little bit just fatigued
in that last round.
Yeah. But to take third, and I think also there's probably, even though he's happy but hungry all the time, and probably more so happy, I'm sure there's just some level of frustration if you have a bad event and you know something's coming up that you could win.
Yeah.
I think that just energy probably came out.
Yeah,
because he was definitely moving fast. He was sub 90 seconds for the first 50 GHDs.
Yep. Yeah, we watched the numbers on that, and I think one of the fastest cadences of GHD speed was 1.67 seconds per rep. Yeah. And normally, like, all the data I've taken on that movement from elites in the sport is like 1.8. So I think this one obviously was set up a little differently. They were a little more spaced out.
Yeah.
That 1.8 number was based off of like the GHD Annie. That's 150, where it was like very dense, but still like athletes are sprinting that movement now. So the speed and economy, and it's just becoming so important. We'll talk about the handstand walk too. I thought it was pretty cool watching some of the females' positions on that, but let's talk about our athletes first, and then we'll go back to that.
So Noah, Jake did well. I feel like he executed according to his plan. Same thing he said. I think he ended up 6th in that workout. But it was solid.
Mike was in the final heat, and like I mentioned, he hurt his knee, and we weren't really sure if he was going to be able to do the workout. And Habdo helped him out, kind of gave him some assurance, but also like my conversation with him was like, listen, you're either going to compete hard, or you're going to bow out of this competition, because there's no other option, middle ground. And he did an awesome job. I think
You got 10th.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He made up so much time on the handstand walking, which is where I was like, just if you can do the 60 feet or the larger chunks unbroken, and I'm like, keep it fast, because I think speed, I mean, if you're going faster, you're on your hands less time too. And he just managed overhead squats, and I think he did awesome. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah. Lee, I thought, executed super well. He pushed the last handstand walk unbroken, and Mike was like, oh, these overhead squats might take a while now. And he just walked up to the bar, snatched it.
They look better than the set of 20.
Unbroken.
Yeah, it really
solid.
impressed me. I just loved his like he just went after it in that last round. Like, he was like, you could tell like that was just such an act of a good competitor. Like, he just went after it with confidence, and I think some of the earlier heats, seeing like on the women's side, they were very conservative and safe. You know, a lot of fear of failing, and some of these, you can see the difference in some of the athletes when they attack it with confidence.
Yeah. Would you add anything?
No, I mean, I thought Tanner had a good bounce back. Like, he had a tough first event with the complex, and he knew, like, all right, like, I'm just gonna do my best in this, and it's super easy to check out after something like that from the first event and just want the day over with. But you could tell he like gave another hard effort in it and did better.
Yeah, he gave a hard
more
effort.
competitive in the field on it.
Yeah, he was in the lead group for a while, and then just kind of fell off the pace. I feel like the overhead position of the overhead squats just got labored, and then that 185 pounds bar just took too long.
Yep,
misses,
couple
and then
misses.
a couple misses, snatching it, trying to get it up there.
Jordan, Danielle, and Cal.
Yeah.
They were all in the same heat.
We'll start with Cal. Cal won the first event, and I talked to her afterwards. She didn't do great in this one. She said the movements felt fine. She just was very afraid of failing in it. So she was more conservative, but I think it lit a fire under her ass to take some more chances this weekend.
Good.
She knew, like, after how the complex went, she's like, all right, like, to do well, you have to take some risks against a really strong field. You can't just have a conservative approach and expect to be great. It's going to be middle of the pack if you do that. So.
Yeah.
Jordan.
I
mean, Jordan did well. I think she looked a little bit tired to me, and she said she felt tired, and I don't know if the complex just took a lot out of her. Plus, it was a really late start and a late end today, and I think that can impact people when they're not used to it. I think, you know, for her specifically, it would have been nice to have a little bit more handstand walking. I think that's where her strength is. Just the GHD handstand walk combo, like, it just makes her a little bit dizzy, like almost like vertigo. And that happens to me too. Something
a lot of
like
people say that.
Bringing the neck back. So that would be like, to your point about getting a little bit more stacked, maybe changing her position in the future so that doesn't happen. She can breathe a little bit better. But Danielle, I think Danielle did really well, actually. I mean, she was really with the pack most of the workout. Yeah. And I think her handstand walking has come a long way.
Yeah, for sure.
So I felt like she was getting crushed on strict squat depth. And I was like, she is very much below parallel. So I don't know if she got no reps, but.
Yeah, I will say that when I was seeing the no reps handed out, I didn't see the athlete really change anything. Yeah. And they would start counting them. And I was like, I don't know what the difference was there. It's tough.
Yeah.
Squat pattern, man, or the squat movement. It's a hard one to judge.
Mike is going to advocate to remove the squat from CrossFit.
No, I'm just exploring ideas, but it's like, it's clearly like the one movement we cannot figure out how to judge consistently.
I feel like there's a lot of them.
Well, so many other movements are like start to finish. This is like you touch something, you reach an endpoint of something. Like this is the one where it's just like kind of free reign.
You put a laser down there and be like, your butt's got to cross the laser, and you get a rep if you do.
I had a really bad idea one time of putting like goniometers on these and be like, everyone has to reach 35 degrees
of deflection.
And tall people would not be near parallel, but they're doing the same amount of work.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like anyway, like I said,
wasn't
my best idea. Wasn't my best idea.
Not now.
I like the lasers.
Yeah.
Lasers are cooler. Yeah.
So that's it. There was some good stuff. I had this movie line in my head. It was like, some things pretty good, some things maybe shit. What's that from?
I don't know.
No idea.
Borat? Maybe.
It may be a shit. It may be shit.
Yeah.
It might be a shit.
Yeah.
Or is it Mr. Deeds? Very, very sneaky.
Very sneaky.
Are you cramping?
My left hip is like falling asleep. Can I stand? Do I need to stay in the camera?
Yeah. We're done. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Day one.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.